Don't Eat the Bluebonnets by Ellen Leventhal, Ellen Rothberg, and pictures by Joel Cook. Sue Ellen had a mind of her own. When the other cows mooed, Sue Ellen whistled. When the other cows strolled, Sue Ellen danced. And when Max put a sign in the south pasture, Sue Ellen stomped her hoof. The sign reads, "Don't eat the bluebonnets." Max is not the boss of me. I can eat the bluebonnets if I want. The bluebonnets won't come back if you eat them. The next morning, when Sue Ellen arrived at the south pasture, two small, perfect-looking bluebonnets peeked out from the grass. "Don't eat the bluebonnets." "I'm not eating them. I'm just looking at them. Anyway, we eat the grass and it comes back. So will the bluebonnets." Later that day at the pond, Sue Ellen swished her tail and took a deep breath.
"Don't eat the bluebonnets."
"I'm not eating them. I'm just smelling them. Anyway, the water in the pond comes back. So will the bluebonnets." That evening, as she grazed under the big oak tree, Sue Ellen spied even more delicious-looking bluebonnets.
"Don't eat the bluebonnets."
"I'm not eating them. I'm just kissing them. Anyway, the leaves on the trees come back. So will the bluebonnets." By the end of the week, the pasture was covered in delicious-looking bluebonnets.
"Don't eat the bluebonnets."
The grass comes back.
"Don't eat the bluebonnets."
The water comes back.
"Don't eat the bluebonnets."
The leaves come back. And so will the bluebonnets. With that, Sue Ellen charged into the pasture and ate all the bluebonnets. Sue Ellen was so full that she needed a rest. She curled up under the oak tree and fell asleep. When she woke up, all the animals were glaring at her, especially Max. Somebody ate all the bluebonnets." The bluebonnets will come back. Just wait." And wait they did. Summer, autumn, winter, spring again. When the grass grew so tall that it tickled their bellies, the animals headed to the south pasture to see the bluebonnets. But there were none. "If the bluebonnets won't come back, I'll bring them back myself." Sue Ellen gathered the bluebonnets in the north pasture and with a whoosh threw them onto the ground in the south pasture. By midday, the bluebonnets were so flat that even the bees couldn't find the pollen in them. Bzzz. Sue Ellen didn't give up. She had another idea. "I'll paint the hay blue." As she finished the last stroke of her brush, she looked up and saw her friends munching and mooing. Well, that didn't work. Sue Ellen didn't give up. She gathered her art supplies and cut, pasted, and painted until the pasture was alive with paper bluebonnets. That night, a Texas-sized thunderstorm blew through the farm. Lightning lit up the sky, thunder boomed, and rain soaked the ground. The next morning, all the paper bluebonnets were gone. I guess only real bluebonnets are the color of the sky, and only real bluebonnets have that pretty smell, and only real bluebonnets can make our pasture beautiful again. So Sue Ellen thought and thought. The answer must be around here somewhere. Would a rake help? No. Would a shovel help? No. Would a hoe help? No. But you gave me a great idea. Look what I found! Now I know what to do. Tom and Aunt Bluebonnet Seed, contains 1 field of bluebonnet seeds. That night, Sue Ellen and her friends got to work, and again they waited. It wasn't long until their pasture was beautiful once again, and Sue Ellen knew that she could look at the bluebonnets, smell the bluebonnets, and even kiss the bluebonnets. But she would never, ever eat the bluebonnets again. Every year in Texas, people from El Paso to Dallas, Lubbock to Austin, and all points in between excitedly await the first sign of spring, a blanket of bluebonnets. Whether they're on hills, beside highways, or in a cow's pasture, bluebonnets symbolize Texas as much as 10-gallon hats, cowboy boots, and longhorn steers. Although there is no specific law protecting the bluebonnets, Texans know the importance of preserving nature. When a bluebonnet is picked, the seeds go with it. Without seeds, there will be no bluebonnets the next year. So although you may look at the bluebonnets, sit among the bluebonnets, and even photograph the bluebonnets, please don't ever pick them. While cows have been known to eat a few bluebonnets, they can be toxic to both cattle and humans. Don't eat the bluebonnets. The end. I found a bluebonnet. That's not a bluebonnet.